Hello friends,
Hello.
I am Sumeet Singh Arora and we'll directly start off with the session and I'll give you 6 sentences of my introduction which will be a part of our session of healthy thinking.
You understand
My
the
introduction, which is the raw material for your analysis based on the tools which you are going to look at for healthy thinking. I am a double bachelor's and a single master's. I've done my graduation in education and engineering and have done a master's in business administration. And I'm so happy and glad to be here. The basic reason is I can speak out whatever I want to, and I have experienced people who can test it, verify it, and give me a certificate. So I get back with more certification saying yes, this is good or this is bad, whatever. That's the usefulness part which I get. The only challenge which I had was I had to travel around 150 kilometers to be here on time, be available, presentable, joyful, in a mood as per their standards, and I hope that I'll be able to meet up that standards. And the best part was this was all planned a month before, so my manager had a lot of time to create content, to do all the travel arrangements and everything and help me out and the best possible. These were the 6 sentences which I've placed in front of you. A very brief kind of introduction. Try to remember that. There would be no question answers kind of a thing for you to look at the data and give me answers. But we'll analyze this at the end of the session in around 15 minutes from now. With your permission, shall we start?
Yes.
Just to start off, there's a question to build in. Now, why a question? Don't worry, I'm going to put forward certain questions, but you don't have to worry about answering them all. The questions here are intended to just bring out some thought, some thinking which we are looking forward to. And this thinking which we are talking about is all about the whole program of 50 minutes which we are going to look at. Right? So the question, do we think?
Yes.
Of course.
Of course, there's no doubt about it. We are all human beings, not machines.
5 marks.
Without making efforts.
5 marks out, yeah, without making efforts. I believe there's some mistake in this. There's no question mark. Now it's complete. The question is, do we think or thinking just happens?
Both.
Happens. Together.
Both.
No, can't say. I mean, sometimes both.
Truly speaking, this question doesn't have a either or answer. It doesn't have, okay, this is true or this is true.
Both.
It is both. And in situations, in certain situations, you let thinking happen, or thinking keeps on happening, you want to control it, you are not able to control it. In certain situations, you are in control of the thoughts, and you create thoughts as per needed. Now, thinking, I am thinking, and thinking is happening. These two parts are very important when we look at healthy thinking. What is healthy thinking? Is healthy thinking all about letting thinking happen? Or is healthy thinking all about controlling our thoughts? We'll look at it as we go ahead. The answer is not here in this slide. Let's just go a bit ahead. Shall we proceed?
Yeah.
Yeah? Something blank. How do we analyze thoughts now? The question would come in when you're going to talk about lots of thinking. So, what is the way of getting in the thoughts? I cannot jump into your head, see your brain and find out what thoughts are happening. So thoughts have an expression. Thoughts are expressed by words, sentences, expressions, body language,
Visualization.
visualization. You visualize something and then you come out with some actions,
Even behavior.
even behavior. So all these things, thoughts is the seed. Thought is a seed for all our words, for all our action and sentences. So then let's look at a few sentences and try to look at what thought must have been going on in the head of that person. I have completed my graduation in 2010. or a sentence something like the car can accelerate at 60 kilometers per hour in 6 seconds. Some information about a person, about a car, right? I have a family to support. What time is the funeral? India has 6 million school teachers. These are all sentences which I am trying to put one after another. The political system in India is changing. Where are we going out for lunch today? So all these sentences, are they talking about some numbers, some information, something related to what, why, when, where, how, etc. things? Like when is the lunch, where is the lunch, or what is the population of India? So this is all what we talk about if a person who normally keeps on speaking about information, right? You ask him, oh, will you like to go for a party? He's not so excited. He says what time it is, or when will it end, or what will be the cost to my pocket. So he's talking about information.
It's important.
It's
Cost to the
important.
pocket.
Yes, cost to the pocket is important.
These days of rising prices.
Every day it is important. These days is more important. So all this is what? All this is information. All this is facts and figures. And if you look at these sentences, this is all neutral. He's not talking positive, neither is talking negative, neither he is explaining something bad or good, but it is all about some facts, whether they are believed facts or checked facts. Right? Like when I talk about the political system in India is changing. Oh, am I a politician? No. Then how do I know about it? I've seen in the news, I've read in the newspapers. So I'm believing it. It might not be that I am a part of that fact, but yes, it is some information, something which is factual. But there is no opinion, no judgment, no emotions. It is plain facts. Now, thinking in this pattern is important, rightly said, is necessary. But how about a person who always thinks in this fashion only? Imagine a young man at the age of 30 and a girl comes to him and says, would you marry me? And this gentleman asks the lady, what is your age? Are you beyond 18? He's not so excited. Arey, kisi ladki ne mujhe propose kiya. He's not so excited about it. There is no emotions. He's always worried about facts. Is that really a very healthy way of thinking? Should this not be balanced? This is all factuals. This is all terms grouped together by Edward de Bono as white hat thinking. Edward de Bono, a great author, has written a book called as 6 Thinking Hats. This is one of them. And he says, whatever you think like this and talk, which is neutral, which is factual, which is facts and figures, is important, is true, is neutral, and it can be termed under one hat, which is called as white hat thinking. And only this makes a person real dry. Only this makes a person real hard, nothing else. We will only talk about this. Can we take a few more sentences?
Sure.
Right? Shall we?
Yes,
Yeah. So, a few more sentences like mathematics. I love mathematics.
Emotions.
Emotions. Why do you love mathematics? Is there a reason behind it?
People enjoy.
I enjoy. Why do you enjoy? Oh, well, I enjoy. Why do you want to ask the reason for it? When somebody asks you, what do you like? You say, I like ice creams. Why? Oh, there's nothing about liking here. Why do you want to ask about the reason behind it? So all sentence and something, I think the accounts paper is going to be difficult tomorrow. A student talks about tomorrow's paper and he says, I think it will be. Why? I just have a hunch. It's a feeling I don't know. I'm just feeling it. And we say many times, I लगता है गाड़ी लेट हो जाएगी, मिस हो जाएगी, लगता है. कोई reason ही नहीं, ऐसा बस लग रहा है. Or something like he is very egoistic. You might not know the reason. You have not talked to that gentleman, but उसको सिर्फ देख के ऐसा लग रहा है कि he is very egoistic. ऐसा क्यों लग रहा है? बस लग रहा है यार. लगने के लिए कोई reason नहीं चाहिए. That's all emotions.
Gut feeling.
Gut feeling. That's all emotions, feelings, gut feeling, intuitions. And this all, something like, I don't know why, but don't you want to go to the movie with him? Something like these on. I want this red skirt, a lady says. And the husband says, boss, you have 5 of them. She says, but I don't have this one. This red is not there. There are 3 more reds, but this red is not there. So what is that? That's just a feeling, just an emotion. Oh God, what must have happened? A negative thought, again an emotion, which we say sometimes crisis. The first sentence, kya hua hoga yaar? What has happened? It's nowhere related to asking about facts. It's all about the feeling which you have. Now all these are categorized together, and this talks about emotions and feelings, hunches, intuitions, and they could be of any type, positive, negative, whatever they are, and they don't need a logical reason or any justification. You feel it, and that's it. And this was categorized very beautifully by the name red hat thinking, red warmed emotions. That was facts and figures, white. This is red, and they talk about emotions. Now imagine we have a balance of both. When needed, I let my emotions flow, and when I want, I ask all the facts before taking a decision. Isn't this more balanced? Isn't this more healthy?
Yes.
A situation where somebody comes and shouts at you, and you say it's not my mistake, but you don't say it this way. No, it's not my mistake. You start saying, "Mere ko tune bola? You told me. How the hell did you tell me?" Now, what was that? How the hell did you tell me? That was emotion. That was not fact. It could be very straight and saying, "Sir, not my mistake. Please mind it." White hat. But sometimes, as well, yeah, you're talking to a kid or you're talking to an elder, that emotional things have to be there. You just cannot deny life without emotions. It is an important part in our life.
Brings color to life.
It brings
Color to life.
color to life. Imagine a black and white movie and imagine
70 mm.
that's a thought. So, can I be an emotional fool? Yes. If I am not able to balance my emotions with data, and I just go on taking decisions based on red hat and not taking white hat as and when needed. But I am not an emotional fool when I balance my white hat with my red hat. That time I am emotionally strong. I hug a person saying, I understand your pain. That's emotions. That's empathy. But I just don't take out 10,000-20,000 rupees and give it to him, which I know will make my life miserable. So that's balancing white and red together. I can share half of my chapati, half of my bread, and there's nothing wrong. But if I know this is going to make my family miserable, then should I? That makes white hat mixed with red hat. So we need to know to use red hats and white hats as and when required. Let's summarize this. One slide, white hat, information and data. Neutral, objective, facts, figures. Facts, figures, neutral, objective, information, data, all what, why, where, when, who, how much, 5W, 2H, everything related to this white hat. On the opposite side, emotions, feelings, red hat, intuition, hunches, and you don't need any reasons or any justifications for that. Why did you do it? I just felt like emotions. Certain things you can go by emotions, certain things you could go by the white hat. 2 hats, 4 more to go. Shall we take this ahead?
Yes.
Yeah? Let us look at a few more sentences. Life is not always that neutral. You cannot just be non-judgmental in life. We're not all saints. We're not here that we cannot say what is good, what is bad. Let's look at these sentences. 5 days a week college can provide enough time for self-learning. There's a meeting happening and some gentleman proposes college should be 5 days. And in the meeting, first gentleman picks up and says, 5 days in a week will make college give more time to the students for self-learning. Others could have denied it, others could have talked something about it. Let's look at one more sentence. We should reach in 4 hours. Normally there is less traffic on Sunday. One more sentence and then we'll look at what kind of angle grouping this is coming. This will help us generate funds, update our technology room and will develop our employees. Does this all
Opinion.
fall under positive kind of
Yes.
opinions with certain
With
reasons,
certain
Yes.
with certain facts? And they're all positive, they seem positive, they're not talking anything negative. If yes, they're all logically positive and they're talking about why it will work. We have a situation and we can always talk about two things, why it will work, why it will not work. ऐसा हो सकता है, ऐसा नहीं हो सकता है. I can always talk about that. This grouping talks about being speculative. आगे जाके क्या होने वाला है उसका अंदाजा है, फिर भी ट्राई तो करके देखते हैं. Let us try doing what we can if it is possible. Optimistic, searching for opportunities, thinking of the reason why it will work. What are the values and benefits in this proposition? इसमें क्या भला हो सकता है? What can be made good out of it? What is the best case scenario? There could be scenarios where it is not possible, but more chances are that it is possible. So let's look at the best case scenarios. These kind of groupings, which is positive in nature, which talks about why it will work, comes under a hat which we call as yellow hat thinking. Yellow hat thinking, it talks about positiveness. It talks about why it will work, but with a reason. Logically positive. I could be saying you are very good, oh awesome, but that would be red hat because it is an emotion. But when you say you are good because you come every time on time, you are great because you have successfully completed 100 operations and not even one failure. So giving a reason behind the statement, that is yellow hat thinking. Positive. Very important in life. Unless until any situation, if I don't think positive, I might not explore, I might not step out and do something. But if I'm logically positive, I might take more jumps. And that can lead to sometimes risks, can't it?
Yes.
Being very positive and not seeing the opposite side of it,
Yes.
not seeing the risks, could be unhealthy, could be self-devastating, could be a lot of loss. So we have the opposite sentences. Just look at the opposite sentences. The diet plan may not work for working professionals, and then there's a reason behind it. Why? Because you are asking for a lot of fresh, homemade and frequent eatings. So why not it will work, but with a reason. Can we start an hour early? I don't want to risk on delay due to traffic. Remember the earlier traffic statement? It says we can make it, it's Sunday. It could be done in 4 hours. There was a reason behind it. It was a Sunday. Here the other person who has put on some other hat, not a yellow hat, says, let's make it a bit early because we might have an unexpected traffic. So this gentleman has another hat, not the same hat as the yellow one. He has failed to meet deadlines previously. A person who has failed to meet deadlines, should I believe on him? We shouldn't ahead commit without a backup plan because this gentleman has failed us earlier. So if somebody has failed me earlier and yet I commit on him, this time he will not fail us. So I am wearing my yellow hat. But if I am cautious, I am careful, that is what I am talking. This is that group which we talk about. Being cautious and careful. If there is something which could go wrong, something which might fail, I can be critical. I can be a person who should focus on errors, evidences and conclusions. Nothing wrong about it. So when I focus on errors, evidences, what am I doing? I am wearing the black hat.
Optimistic pessimism.
Optimistic and pessimistic.
Okay, sir.
Yeah? So, black hat, cautious and careful. Why it will not work? Rightly said, the pessimist point of view, is what I look at, why it could fail, and with reasons. I don't say, well, this is not going to work. Why? I don't know, but this is not going to work. When I say I don't know, that's emotions, that's feeling, that is hunches, that is what I feel. Do I have a reason? Yes, we have tried it 4 times, 3 times it did not work. So this time, probability is it won't work. So I'm giving a reason, yes, I'm thinking white hat. But the other person would say, no, once it has worked, now this time it can work.
Useful for
So he
planning.
is
no?
yellow,
Useful for
yes,
planning.
useful for planning. So when I'm looking at 2 hats, yellow and black, and I use them in a balanced way, that is where we call it again healthy. White and red, remember? Right? White was facts and figures, red is emotions. Now come into yellow. Yellow, white may work, and black, white may not work. So when I think, I just don't think in facts and figures. I just don't think emotionally. I think white may work, what are the possibilities, what are the advantages, what are the gains, values, which I have. But while thinking this, I don't deny the fact that it may not work. So if it doesn't work, then what do I do? Then if it doesn't work, then what do I do?
Keep moving.
If it doesn't do, then what do I do? I am keeping moving. What is that? I am trying to identify a way where it could work.
Correct.
Right? 4 things: facts and figures and emotions presently. Then being judgmental, whether it is good or bad. But if all this is done, I want to find out new ways. I move on to my next hat. That is my 5th hat. Let's look at a few sentences. How about making non-voting a crime? If you don't vote, the police will pick you up and put in jail. Will that improve voting percentage?
Clearly not.
Yes, yes.
Good, deadly thing.
Yes.
Can we do it? I don't know whether we can do it or not. I don't know whether it is practical or not, whether it is constitutional or not, but it's an idea. So if you are asking for ideas how to improve voting, how to improve the percentage of voting, it could be anybody who votes, give him 10,000 rupees. Award? No. Whether this is right, wrong, good, bad, we'll think later.
Ethical or not.
Ethical or not, we'll use the other hats to think. But this hat talks about creative ideas. All college passing out students should donate 10% of their first year salary to college. Useful, not useful, good, bad, I don't know. This is an idea. So whenever you talk about ideas, if Rajesh doesn't deliver, we have Vijay as backup. If Vijay fails, then we can advertise. Options. If this doesn't work, then this. If this doesn't work, then this. This all is categorized as we call as new ideas, concepts, possibilities, alternatives, approaches, creative thinking, and this all is grouped under the hat, green hat thinking. Now, why do you need this? This is something where all scientists and discoverers discovered something.
It's thinking out of the box.
Thinking out of the box. Yeah. This is something where thinking happens. Aphrodites, they say, was in the bathtub
Correct.
when an idea struck him. He was not thinking, but thinking happened to him. And he came out of that bathtub as it is because he couldn't control his thoughts. He wanted to note it down somewhere. He wanted to talk about it. Now that's where thinking happens. So should I let thinking happen? Of course. This is the place, this is the hat where thinking happens. And if thinking is not happening, they label me non-creative or they label me non-innovative. And anybody and everybody wants to be creative and innovative, isn't it? Where do we get this? When we put on our green hat thinking and we say, now let me think out of the box. Let me think something beyond. This is used in brainstorming sessions when there's a problem. And the simple rule of brainstorming sessions, whatever idea comes up, nobody criticizes or puts down. Let's note down all the ideas first. Later on, we'll put our black hat and think why it will not work. Then we'll put our yellow hat and think why it will work. Then we'll put our white hat and think what are the facts and figures. But when it is brainstorming, let ideas come. This is what we need to get. Green hat thinking. Lots of ideas, lots of things to be done. Imagine a marriage next day morning. Imagine a marriage next day morning. And in the marriage next day morning, the bride wants to be creative. Today night, he feels next day morning my marriage should be very creative. What? So he thinks, let me भाग के शादी करेंगे. हिंदी में भाग के शादी. You seen that ad?
भाग मिल्खा भाग.
Both of them are running on the road and marrying. Now, could that be arranged immediately? Well, if you had thought earlier, we could have arranged that. But being creative at the last moment can make a foil note. So that time I need to be organized because I have to manage lots of things. And that comes under the last hat. Can we create a to-discuss list before we start the meeting? So somebody starts talking about organizing. Somebody says, what are the options for this Sunday? So he's talking about
Yeah. I think it's like
this Sunday. Now let's list options we have for this Sunday. Talks about, let's do a homework, let's make a list of it. Ideas, yes, but we are writing it down somewhere. Or something like, to manage time very effectively, the first step is to explore what we have to do, then we have to categorize. After categorizing, I prioritize what is important, which will come first, which will come second, and then I schedule it. Okay, this I do today, this I do tomorrow, and then I list it. So what is this? This is all kind of process, steps, structured. All these kind of thoughts. Does this mean we are here today just to brainstorm and not to conclude on the final solution? He's kind of saying, confirming it. Now these kind of sentences bring in a group which is about control, organize and focus. Creating a structure, yes. Controlling, yes. Creating steps, making a certain process. These kind of thoughts or these kind of actions wherein you summarize or you conclude or you bring in an overview, something like choreographing, when you start till end you are the in charge, even of the thoughts, even of the people around. This comes under the final hat, blue hat thinking. Green, which we talked, was creativity, any direction, left, right, center, whatever comes to your mind, please write. Blue hat talks about making a structure of it, making a list of it, making it steps. What will come first, what will come second, and so on. So now if you look at the hats, if you look at the thinkings, we have 6 thinking hats. We have 6 different patterns which we're talking about. We started with white hat. It said facts and figures. We need white hat, right? Facts and figures. If only facts and figures, it's very dry, it's very unhealthy. So you bring in the red hat, feelings and emotions. You say no reasons asked. Lagta hai to lagta hai. I don't know. I feel it, so I feel it. So you balance it. That's healthy. But that doesn't make you judgmental. That doesn't make you only thing to do in the world. You have to take some decisions. How do you take decisions? You can always make good, feel good about everybody. No, that's not only thing. But feeling good or why it should work is yellow hat. What is the good in this person? What are the good properties? What are the usefulness of this project? Yellow hat, opposite to it, being cautious and careful. Why it may not work? What is the danger? All logical reasons of why it may fail. As we talked about logical reasons of why it works, yellow, opposite to it is black. Both of them make it healthy. Only one, not using the other,
Not balanced.
can bring disaster, not balanced. All this is stationary. It's all about today. What about something new I want to develop? And there comes the green hat, the creativity, the seed, the thought, something new, options. And with all these thoughts together, let's organize it. Let's give it a structure. Let's make it step by step. Let's focus on the problem. That's blue hat. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6. 6 hats, 6 dimensions of thinking in any situation is healthy thinking.
Is required.
Is required, is must. And if a gentleman normally is go kind of, okay, whatever happens is happens,
चलता है.
चलता है attitude, that's what hat. It's a red hat kind of a thing. होता रहता है, चलता है, लोगों ने थोड़ा कोई सोचना उठना नहीं, दिख रहा है वैसा ठीक है, क्या facts वगैरह, क्या उसके बारे में पूछना. Is more of a red hat, maybe he lands up in trouble. Somebody, a very dry person, thinks only about information, facts, never gets excited. White hat, bad for heart. Yeah, be happy. Always thinks why it will not work. Too much of black hat. Imagine a person with too much of black hat and white hat. White and blue. Facts चाहिए, figures चाहिए. और ये क्यों नहीं चलेगा, क्यों नहीं चलेगा. He has something which we call as paralysis by analysis. He doesn't take up any step, does not want to do at all anything. Why? Because he wants more facts. He's looking at why it will not work. He wants more fact figures. Then he is looking at why this figure could be wrong. Why this thing is something which is I have to be more cautious about and take the next step. No. So that goes off. Imagine a person with lot of green and red, creative, and doesn't believe on facts, figures, etc. He'll go on taking jumps. And if it comes with yellow hat as well, he'll feel good about everything. So he'll just keep on taking risks. जो होगा देखेंगे. Facts, figures मालूम नहीं. Bank balance मालूम नहीं. खरीदना है. दिल बोलता है यार, करना है, खर्चा करना है. Where could he land up? Could become a banker financially. Land up in risks. That is somewhere where things go unhealthy. And to make things healthy, the right balance of these hats is important. Can we take a few concluding questions from your side, or I have few concluding questions from my side?
How could we use this thinking in say in your office or in your organization?
Wonderful.
For build up a team.
Wonderful. Now when you are hiring people, when you take an interview, how do I start with? First I start with the white hat. Facts and figures, qualification, experience, map it with my job role which I have. When I talk to that person, I get a feeling. My red hat has to take precedence.
Gut feeling.
कैसा लगा? Gut feeling. क्या लग रहा है इससे बात करना? Right? Then I look into the yellow hat and see what benefits will he bring to me. Then I give it to my scrutiny department to check whether all testimonials and everything which has given me is right or not. I should get it cross-verified, so I use my black hat. If I don't do that, I might land up into a trouble. I might. Possibility is there. So black hat use karna chahiye. How much? That's a question mark. And then I make a process of it. Every person who comes in will follow this 4-step rule. If I don't make it a process, it is only me who does it in an organization, nobody.
Policy.
Then we make a policy. That is blue hat. Now somebody says this is very costly. This is time consuming. Can we make it fast? How can we do it fast? And then we start brainstorming. And then somebody comes up with a great idea, says let's outsource it. If I hire a candidate, I will pay 2,000 rupees. If I don't hire, I will not pay anything. There's a company who can do this. It will save all our costs and it will follow all the 5 processes. We have to just check once in a month or 1 out of 100 to check whether they are doing it or not. And if we accept it or if that idea is great, that's called as green hat. And that's the use in say recruitment. In any decision making process. I want to change the canteen vendor. First facts, why? If I take a new one, what will be the cost? Then you take the yellow hat. What are the advantages of this person? I don't have to train him. I don't have to tell him. He knows किसका क्या choice है. साहब को 5 बजे चाय लगता है बिना sugar, right? तो ये साहब को देने जाता है. नया आएगा तो उसको सिखाना पड़ेगा. Which member wants what? He will take some time to gel up. Might be he might just run away and then I want another one. Black hat. Reasons. Creative ideas. What can I do better? So why did I want to remove him? Those problems I focus on. Can I find some better solutions? I bring in that. And then can I set up a process 1, 2, 3, 4 so that this gentleman doesn't stray off and I do not want to. Can I put a contract? Can I bring in a deposit money so that this gentleman doesn't fall off? So that's where you bring in green Where do I use it in personal life? Everywhere.
Yeah.
Once I talk to a person, I need to understand which hat to put on while talking to this gentleman. And why shouldn't I be putting on this hat? I put on a red hat, emotional front for everybody. Some gentleman doesn't like it. He wants to talk fact to facts. What do I do? I just go on hugging him, cuddling him. He would say, hold on, I just want to be away. I need to understand which hat to put on where.
In the same connection, suppose we out of when we deal with the person in personal or maybe in the industry, now out of this you analyze that this person more of particular hat.
Yes.
Then to bring him along, what opposite you have to use or
Same.
That's the same.
It's the same hat here. Now, he is a gentleman who is good in, is always positive.
हाँ.
हर चीज अच्छा देखता है. उसके साथ में normal उसके अंदर तो उसके साथ में अच्छी बात करेंगे तो उसको भी अच्छा लगेगा. They are both
We should
together.
be on his wavelength
Yes,
first.
yes.
And then slowly,
And now if you are taking a decision,
हाँ.
And
if
come
you are
back to
taking
your
a
wavelength.
decision, he is very good in yellow hat.
Yeah.
But I know only yellow hat will make me fall because it is going to be always positive. It is risky.
Yes.
I need to wear compulsorily the black hat to balance it.
Yeah.
So for decision making, yes, I need to be the opposite hat to what the other gentleman is. We two are partners and we go for a business meeting. He is very white hat, facts, figures and everything. The other gentleman is kind of feeling dry communication हो रहा है. I need to put on the red hat and say कैसा चल रहा है साहब, शाम को चलते हैं कहीं बैठते वगैरह हैं, बात करते हैं, because he is putting up a white hat.
Yeah. Compliment.
Yes. So for solutions, when you are doing it as a team, very truly as you rightly said was, let's complement the hats and use them.
Great.
और एक
Yes sir.
question.
My questions, which hat is the best hat?
All hats are good.
All right.
Wonderful.
In their own way.
In their own way. Yes.
At the right time.
There is no good or bad hat.
Yeah.
They're all important. Can we wear multiple hats?
Yes.
Yes.
We need to.
We need to. We should, one at a time. And then pick up what is important. Is there a specific sequence?
No.
It depends on the
Depends on the
situation.
situation.
It is not fixed. It is not rigid. It depends on what are you doing. Where do we use these hats daily? We just talked about in office,
In daily situation.
personal
In the
life.
mind,
In
actually.
the mind, actually. You don't have to really put on a hat or buy hats. It is
The
inside.
invisible one.
It's an invisible hats which you bring up. And if we relate to all these hats one at a time, a summary: white, rational, red, emotional. One word for each hat. Rational, emotional,
Yeah.
right? Then you look at optimistic and pessimistic, right? And you say creative and organizational. So 6 words. Keep it in the mind. Keep it in front of
Immediately
you.
reflect.
Yeah. Keep it in front of you till it doesn't get in. And the day it gets in, you don't need it. Pass it on and let the world think healthy. Now let's go back to my introduction. Do you
But
remember?
do you change your hat according to your sessions you go to?
Yes.
Do you remember my introduction? I had 6 sentences. And if you try to relate, they were mapping one of the hats each. My bachelor's and master's was
White.
white. I feel so good about being
Red.
here,
Yeah.
emotional. What is my benefit? I bring in my principles and I get it verified through you. I learn and I go back. I'm optimistic why it is working over here. What was the black hat thought? I'm traveling 150 kilometers, I might get late, I need to be organized, take care of being on time and my energy is being there, being cautious and careful, black hat. Then I said, I'm here and I got it organized everything
Blue.
with my manager and everything. I think I forgot my green hat. As I was here, I picked up 2-3 more meetings. One with my prospect, one with my guide, one with my friend, and I could say my Mumbai visit becomes more effective. That's creativeness, and you bring in all the hats even in your introduction. So wherever in life, you could just pitch on your hats and think better, think healthy. They say thoughts bring in action, actions make habits, and habits make a character.
Yeah.
So think healthy, be healthy. That's right.
Thank you.
Thank you.